thank you everyone for coming here this morning. I know that everybody has very busy agendas. So first, I would like to say that, as Marina already mentioned, this is for us a launch of a very innovative bag for Mauritius. And this continues on the line of our leadership and innovation in the market. Some of you might have joined us in the launch of Pina Store recently, this Canclari franchise model that we launched a few weeks back, as well as the depots that we have launched in Valentina and in Bonaire in the north, following our strategy of closeness to the market and facilitating the access to our cement to the customers. So, but this bag is something really, and I said revolutionary because it really changes the way you utilize cement going forward. So first I would like to talk about the D-sack. The D-sack is basically the paper bag as such, without the cement inside. So when we're discussing with our partners, when we say we as a group globally, we were having some insights from the market, some feedback from the users, and we're hearing sort of input and complaints. So about, okay, there is a lot of dust when you mix your cement in the mixer. There is a lot of waste that is generated. And you know, when you mix the paper bags to create the cement, either you mix on the ground, which also is an ergonomics point of view a problem, or you need to also throw it into the mixer and you need to empty it, and by this you generate a lot of dust. So dust is bad for your lungs as well, in particular cement dust. And there is also an associated cost. When you have this waste generated, you don't only pollute the environment, but also you need to remove this waste, you need to pay for removal of this. So having said that, we worked with Vidéo Reportage to develop this D-sack.
First of all, I'd like to say it's a real honor and a pleasure to work with a company like LafargeHolcim. They're incredibly innovative and very forward-thinking. And we've had a long history working together with them. We've supplied paper to LafargeHolcim all over the world for many years. And then it was a real pleasure when the colleagues in France came to us and said that they had done an end-user study and identified this need from their end users. And if you know anything about innovation, this is the way to go about it, right? You go to the people who use your product and you ask them, what more do you want from it? And out of it then came this issue about the dust, about the health aspects, and of course the empty bags that are troublesome on the work site. Plus of course the ergonomics as well, that was the benefit. So what they did to us is they said to us, this is our current bag, which was a 2-ply paper bag with a plastic layer in the middle, and said to us, we want this bag to disappear. Okay. So what we did was, first of all, we had to do quite a big paradigm shift because this was way out of the normal conventional thinking that was taking place in the cement industry. We did some tests with the current bag, and what we did find is that the paper to some extent was disintegrating, but that the plastic was staying behind. And the first step then was, how do we get rid of this plastic? We discovered a coating that we could put on the outer layer of the bag, which could replace the plastic and give you the moisture protection. But that then gave us the additional problem of getting the air out of the bag. For those of you who don't know anything about filling of cement bags, when you work with a powder, when you want to get the powder like cement into the bag, you have to add air to make it flow like water. So once you've added the air, you've removed the friction, and then you pump it like water into the bag. You have to get the air out, and normally the air comes through the walls. So now we have a solid outside with a coated layer, but we still can't get the air out. So we then, through working together with LafargeHolcim, developed a construction where the air could actually flow out of the top of the bag, which is also a new innovation in the bag. So then we ended up with a bag which could de-aerate, could give you the moisture protection, but wasn't quite disintegrating yet. So we worked on our paper machines and managed to develop the paper that would disintegrate in the mixer. So what we currently have now is the bag you see there. It is 2 layers of paper. Of course, this is all biodegradable, the paper, should you want to not put it in the mixer. The outer layer is coated, and it has a special de-aeration system. And the bag performs exactly the same as a normal cement bag, except that it disappears. It disintegrates in the mixer, and as you say, it's magic. Yes.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mark. No, I think we will probably also open up later on for questions and answers. No, if you have some questions for Mark or for myself. So at this point, I think it's interesting to introduce the brand. We will sell the T-sack under the brand of La Case Mazik. So what does La Case Mazik represent itself? So it's an enhanced product because, as Mark already said, the paper bag breaks down in the concrete. So this enhances also the product by itself because the fibers will be incorporated into the concrete. So it gives an additional properties on the workability. Then it's obviously an eco-friendly solution, as we already said. There is no pollution, no dust coming out. It has also a positive impact on the environment. And this Mark didn't mention, but for every tree which is planted to produce these paper bags, there are 4 trees which are cut. There are 4 trees which are planted. So for 1 tree, they plant 4. So this is really something which is making this model more sustainable than any traditional paper bags. Of course, there is no waste. This was already highlighted. So when you talk about the users, no, when you ask me, okay, so what is the benefit really for the users in Mauritius? No? So it will be a much healthier usage of the cement. They will not need to cut the bag, pour it inside. There will be no dust generation. They will have less problems with the bag as well if they mix on the ground as well, because then you just put it in the mixer. It will be much faster, as you saw in the video, because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you need to tear the bag open. You just take it, just throw it inside, wait for the 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then it's mixed. There will be no waste, no need for disposal. So for our island, and when I say I venture to say our island because I'm part of the island living here, even if I'm a foreigner, it will be making the island a sustainable island as well, right? And it will be safer because they don't need to obviously hold it over the mixer, which at the end carries a risk of having an accident, right? Because it's a moving element, so you can either trap yourself or put the hand inside, so you will avoid them because you can really throw it inside the mixer. Right? So it's a really unique advantages of this bag, and we are the only ones that are offering this bag in Mauritius. In terms of the cement, it's a cement that can be used for masonry works, it can be used for concrete works, mortar works, for many of the applications that the market is requiring. So it doesn't have really limitations. Of course, if you can also use it for mixing underground, but obviously you will not have the benefit of avoiding the waste. Right? Or you can also use it to do masonry cement. Masonry cement, as you know, is for example, screening, for finishing works. It can be also used for that. But if you don't have the stones inside the mixer, because for masonry cement normally you don't put stones, you put only sand, the dissolving of the bag will just take more time. So instead of mixing 2 minutes, maybe you need to mix 6 minutes. But it can be also used for that. I just want to add that these bags normally, I'm discussing yesterday also with Mark, normally where is interesting for these bags? Mature markets that are having also an advanced thinking in terms of the size of the bags, 25 kilo bags, which has been already introduced here since some time. And also countries where the environmental friendliness is in the forefront as well. So that's why Mauritius is ready for this innovation. Thank you very much.
Was it a long years of R&D? Because this is R&D.
Yes,
Research and development.
yeah. It was the Lafarge Holcim Research Center in Lyon were doing it, and we were doing it at our packaging development center in Carlsberg in Sweden. So the development took around about 3 years before we finally came out with the sack, yes. From idea conception to deliver the bag.
For you locally, you had to do some investment to adapt the cement to that type of new packaging?
Well, more than investment, we also did trials, no? We did trials with our own, some customers, but also with the MSB, no? So to make sure that it has no impact, on the contrary, and a positive impact on
The price is the same. The price of the cement is controlled, so it's the same. There's no margin plus something to have this product.
No, the price is exactly the same than what you have today in comparable cement. You will not have an increase.
Okay, storage. Can somebody put it in the rain? I don't know. We had some heavy showers lastly. Is it we need to put that under a shelter before using it? Because I've seen outside it's well packed. There's all the films, but somebody's taking 2 or 3 packets of this cement. Yeah?
It's like a normal paper bag. You need to protect it from water, certainly. It can take some rain and a small shower, which will be fine, but obviously heavy rain, it will not work.
Yes, I mean, in Mauritius, all the cement is sold in pallets and shrink wrap. No? So the same treatment that you give to the traditional bags, you will need to give it to the same to the
Anything else? Anyone else?
Once, I've known that for 4 or 5 years, Lafarge at the time was looking for reusable packets. This is another step forward. Can I say that a step forward? There was a project of using returnable packets and refilling.
Yes, I mean,
some time ago.
This is really a step forward and really innovative, because at the end, the fibers of the paper remain incorporated into the concrete, so really then they are in the cement later on. So you can capture this waste, so to say, and it's part of the concrete that you produce, and it gives you benefits at the end of the day.
Anyone else? C'est bon? Il y aura l'opportunité. Alors je vous invite à aller dehors, il y aura